Hey, this is Matt once again. We're about to another video. And this is a paid request for Lucas. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested, requesting any type of videos, whether it be random thoughts, streams, commentaries, video game playthrough for an hour or full playthrough, whatever the case may be, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal. Do have a CashApp as well. Links are down below in the info box that I will get to as soon as I possibly can. For those who sent them, thank you. I do appreciate it. And this is for Sinbad, Legend of the Seven Seas. That came out in 2003. One of the directors, actually, Tim Johnson, worked on Ants and Over the Hedge. Both films I didn't mind. Now, this film I've seen before, and honestly, the way I feel now is how I felt when I first saw this. I thought it was just okay. At the end of the day, just thought this was okay. I just see why the film didn't do the best, because while I don't think it's a bad film. There's some nice pieces of animation there, whether it be with the sirens and how they dealt with the water. Little bits of adventure. And I mean, it's a short film. It's only an hour and 17 minutes if you take out the end credits. There's humor, there's adventures, a little bit of swashbuckling. There's some different types of creatures. Michelle Pfeiffer is your villain, Eris, the goddess of discord. Michelle Pfeiffer, I think, does a very sultry, sinister job as the villain. Brad Pitt is your lead. Catherine Zeta-Jones is the soon-to-be love interest. Dennis Haysbert, good actor. He's one of the crew on Sinbad's team of pirates. Joseph Fiennes, he's this guy who's a childhood friend who... I'll get to that in a few minutes, but this is one of those films that, like I say, it's okay. I don't mind it. It's not a film I would rewatch a whole lot. It's not a film I would go back to revisit. I'm not sure Brad Pitt was the best choice for the lead. I mean, he's fine. What's interesting is that apparently Russell Crowe was gonna do it, but I don't know if it was like a scheduling conflict or something happened. I do think Russell Crowe would have been a much better fit. I just think he would have worked better in this. He would have... I'm just not sure Brad Pitt really fits... His voice fits in this realm. And... I thought it was a bit of miscasting. It's not, again, not that I thought he was bad, but like someone like Russell Crowe, I think would have been better, would have been more fitting as Sinbad. That's just me. And I like Brad Pitt. I liked him in World War Z. I liked him in Ad Astra. I've liked him in other films. Like I said, just not sure if he was the best fit for this. The plot is very simple. Sinbad is with his crew. They are pirates. They are robbing this other ship, which you find out has Sinbad's childhood friend, played by Joseph Fiennes, on there. So after fighting some of his men, and him and Joe going back and forth, testing each other in at times a jovial way, there is a sea creature that arrives, kind of an octopus, but not really. Sinbad's ship goes off over here while Sinbad is still on his buddy's ship. And him and his buddy and the guards there have to find a way to fight this creature. With some intuitiveness and some using of the environment, he's able to impale some of the octopus and able to take good care of it until he is whipped away, falls to the ocean, sinks, and has a one-on-one with the villain, Eris, the goddess of discord, that says, I'll make a deal with you, give me this book. I need this book. I already forgot what the fuck the book was called. The Book of Peace? Yeah, the Book of Peace. His childhood friend has the Book of Peace, so him and his buddies are supposed to go there and steal it, but then he sees his buddy, he sees Catherine Zeta-Jones, who's his buddy's fiancée, girlfriend, however you want to put it, and he decides not to. One thing leads to another. Michelle Pfeiffer pretends to be Sinbad, steals the book, which I'm sitting there going, why the fuck didn't she do this in the first place? Like, if she knew where the book was, she could pretend to be anybody. She could pretend to be any of the fucking guards, anybody, to go in and steal the fucking book. You didn't need Sinbad for any of this. Just look, hey, I'll pretend to be Joseph Fiennes. I'll pretend to be Catherine Zeta-Jones. I'll pretend to be this or that guard. I'll go in and steal the book. So, why Eris didn't do that sooner, I don't fucking know. It's not really explained. Because again, she knew where it was. And she didn't need Sinbad's help. It may seem like, well, she needs Sinbad's help because she can't get in to steal it. No, she pretends to be someone and steals it anyway. So what the fuck was the point? Could have done that any day, any time. You didn't need Sinbad to begin with. There's tons of other people you could have faked and framed for the crime. But, you know, it is what it is. We gotta get the plot going. Sinbad gets arrested. He says he didn't do it. His buddy believes him. So he tells the court, I'll be in this place instead. And if Sinbad doesn't get here, you can execute me. Now, granted, I don't know why the court goes along with that, because it is the fucking prince of your realm, of your city. And you really think there's not going to be a lot more anger and discord of letting your own prince have the possibility to get his own head cut off because of this? Especially when, you know, leaders or potential leaders are kind of important. You would think the judge, the court, be like, fuck that shit. We ain't doing that. I know he's your buddy, but tough shit, pal. It is what it is. Maybe it was one of the other, but they did it because they needed someone important for Sinbad's arc later on, so I did, but just, yeah. I don't know. Have it be one of Sinbad's trusted buddies, or like Dennis Haysbert or someone else that he trusts, and, you know, or something like, I don't know. Maybe there's a way to work around it, a way that at least some kind of fight back and forth to allowing Joe Fiennes to do this, but anyway, maybe I'm just looking too much into it. So they're wondering what to do next. They are go get this book from Tartarus, where Eris, the goddess of discord and chaos, is at. Catherine Zeta-Jones is going to join. Just, hey, that's my loved one that is under the knife, so to speak, if you don't come back with the book. And at first, Brad Pitt says, like, oh, we'll go to Fiji, but ultimately decides to go on this journey. And on the journey, you know, they hit a couple spots. You have some back and forth between Brad Pitt and Catherine Zeta-Jones, which I like Catherine Zeta-Jones. I always liked her. I always thought she was sexy and vibrant. Liked her in The Master Zorro, among other films. The events that happen, at one point they get hypnotized by the sirens, who deals with men. And I like that the sirens are made of water. I like the way the animation was done. Not all, I mean, a good chunk of the animation is nice to look at. Once in a while it's a bit weird. Like some of these CG, like the sea creature. I don't really look that bad, but it looked a bit weird compared to the other pieces of animation. The sea creature at the beginning. But for the most part, for a film from 2003, I think the animation is fairly good. I think you mentioned that the sirens, the way they're made of water and how they cascade over the ship, and even take one of the men and try to sink them while Catherine Zeta-Jones saves that guy. And she's able to pilot the whole ship by herself in order to get them to the safety. There's a bit where they land on something. They find out they're on a giant fish, because they find out they're standing on a giant eyeball, and they escape. And since the fish is going such a speed, Brad Pitt is able to hook into it and drag them, try to get their destination faster. So there's that event. There's an event with this giant bird, and this is in the snow, and Catherine Zeta-Jones gets taken, so Brad Pitt saves her, and they narrowly escape. So that's the third event. It's pretty much those three events until they finally get to their destination, confront Michelle Pfeiffer. She says, hey, how about this? Do you think you would go back and take the place of your friend? I don't think you would. He says yes. Then Michelle Pfeiffer calls him out on his bullshit. And then he kind of feels bad that no, he would not have gone back for his friend. But then he's like, you know what? I'm not that person. I'm going to do it. And he does. I guess that breaks the curse or whatever the fuck deal Michelle Pfeiffer had. Because she just gives the book back. That's what I mean. Like, compared to other films, being short does give it a fast pace. But it just feels as if not enough happened. Especially the end. Where the end almost came off as a bit anticlimactic. I get it. It's his arc where he's less selfish and is able to put someone's life above his own. That's the arc of Sinbad's character. I get that. Granted, it still sucks for the guy because he still stole your girl. Just because Zeta Jones going to leave your ass, you fucking simp, and now he's going to go with Brad Pitt's character. So yeah, I saved your life. I stole your girl, buddy. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Your Poontang Pie's mine, bitch. But like I said, it's cute for the family. Sinbad and his crew have a dog. The dog has cute moments. Like when the sea creature bites on his tail, it throws it and a piece of the tail rips off and someone catches the dog. Or when they're on the eyeball and they see the slickness of the eyeball and the dog's licking it up and the guy's grossed out by it. You know, the dog is cute. There's a few funny moments when they get to Tartarus. It's at the end of the world. And so one guy tells the other and goes, it's flat. Pay up. And the other gets paid. Like, I thought that was kind of funny. The stuff between Brad Pitt and Catherine Zeta-Jones is typical. You've seen that many, many times. And because you have a short amount of time, it's like you have to have this and this and this happen to automatically make them fall in love, even though they've only known each other for a few days, even though they've only had like a couple moments and a bit where they save each other's lives and all of a sudden they're in love. You either go with it or you don't. I don't know if I would say Brad Pitt and Catherine Zeta-Jones had chemistry with each other. So much so I had to say it twice. I don't know if that's the case. Like I said, I do think Russell Crowe would have worked out better for this. And actually, I want to double check as to what happened. Was it just the scheduling or... Because I'm trying to think what he did in 2003 when this came out. Which I did see a lot of films in theaters 2003. This was not one of them, though. Just scheduling conflicts. To be fair, it was in 2001, because it does take a while for these films to get made. It says here, the fourth biggest confirmed loss in film history after Mortal Engines, Cutthroat Island, and The Lone Ranger. It lost DreamWorks Animation $125 million when adjusted for inflation. That's $174 million in 2020 dollars. I don't know when this list was made. It says 2020, so maybe it doesn't count for the past 5 years, which there may have been bigger flops since then, but at this point, so one of the people that made it, Kevin Koch, he said he enjoyed working on the film, but he thought it was his least favorite animated film he helped make. Taking it to task for his story flaws, too much focus on a vaguely explained MacGuffin that kicks off the whole plot and unwittingly deflates the film's tension, but raising the stakes at a level that makes it impossible to suspend your disbelief, and claiming the lead characters were boring and unengaging. Sinbad is basically the biggest asshole in the world for wanting to steal a book that would send the whole world spiraling into chaos in the wrong hands. So screenwriter John Logan that wrote The Time Machine and Star Trek Nemesis, and all three were flops. It did not get a theatrical release in Japan. This caused DreamWorks to abandon hand-drawn animation completely, at least in films, turning to CGI movies like Shrek. I mean, Shrek was before this, but I just continue that. Same with Treasure Planet being a flop and making Disney change their plans. Tiny AE flopped 2 years earlier. And that's the sad thing. There was this series of films, Tiny AE, Treasure Planet, this one, that because these films were such big bombs, like it says, it kind of, the hand-drawn animation, they went away from that. And it's a shame. It is a shame. But I mean, what can you do? So Jessica Alba, Angelina Jolie, and Christina Ricci were considered for Catherine Zeta-Jones character. David Arquette, which I could not see. Jeff Goldblum, Kevin Spacey, and Robin Williams were considered to voice Sinbad. I mean, Robin Williams would definitely brought a personality to Sinbad. Kevin Spacey just would have brought a sense of weirdness in retrospect. Jeff Goldblum, I mean, that's interesting. I don't know if that would work, though. I'll say Russell Crowe, I think, would have been the best of these choices. There was originally going to be 6 sequels showing Sinbad's adventures on one of the 7 seas. How the fuck were you going to think you were going to get 6 sequels? Maybe someone's just saying that just for the shits and giggles, but I agree. Fun and entertaining, not much of an actual Sinbad movie, and the plot given to the story. Like I said, it's just kind of... This was a movie that didn't seem like people had to gravitate towards the theater to go see. It wasn't a must-see in the theater. Compared to films like Shrek with its humor, or even Finding Nemo with its heart, which came out the same year. Like Finding Nemo I did see in the theater, and I did quite enjoy that. And I definitely had a lot more of a story and heart on its sleeve. I mean, from the very beginning with the tragic loss of that character's family, and had one child left, and like, damn, what a hell of a way to start your fucking movie. And even like films in the air, like Titan AE, I found a lot more excitement and thrills in that movie. Atlantis, even, I got a lot more intrigue with the environment. Like I say, here just didn't feel like a whole lot happened. Like, stuff happened, of course. But it sounds dumb. This kind of felt like a glorified direct-to-video movie. Like, direct-to-video movie was a bit more higher production values, of course. But I just, like, story-wise, it felt like a direct-to-video movie. And again, it's fine. It's harmless. It's fast-paced. It's short enough that won't... I think, kids could watch it and not be bored with it or anything. Even watch it again. Is that okay? Wow, it's done already? There's some nice piece of animation. I keep mentioning the sirens, but also when they get to Tartarus. And there's this bit where the sand kind of rolls like the ocean and uncovers these statues. That's some cool bits of animation. Michelle Pfeiffer is having fun as the villain. But again, it's just... the supporting characters, like Dennis Haysbert and those guys, they don't really have much to work with. They're a dime a dozen. I dare anyone to think of any... I mean, the dog had more personality than... and that's not the actor's fault. It just... the others weren't given anything. Like, nobody else on Sinbad's crew was really given anything to really sink any teeth into. It seemed like just wasn't time for that. And then Sinbad, of course, the point is that he's a asshole, selfish character. Thus, by the end, his arc is to not do those things. It definitely feels like a film that should have been a bit longer, should have been a bit more fleshed out. Let's say the MacGuffin, the story, just kind of ends where Michelle Pfeiffer, well, you proved me wrong, so because you proved me wrong, I guess here's your book back. Just seemed like a really stupid deal for the lady to make in the first place. Going back to what I said at the beginning, why don't you just fake being someone and go and get the fucking book yourself? Wouldn't have to deal with any of this shit. And like, yeah, there's no big battle, there's no big... Obviously they wanted the ideas to overtake action. But it's a Sinbad movie. You think of Sinbad, you think of adventure, swashbuckling. Think of, hell, the same year, Pirates of the Caribbean. Think of the ending of that, the excitement, the thrills. Do you want to see Pirates of the Caribbean? Which, I don't remember a damn thing about the sequels, now that I think about it. Not a damn thing. But I do like the first one. Would you rather see that, or see that again, or see this? It's a time waster, it's there. But you see the way the ending of Pirates of the Caribbean, and then Johnny Depp becomes a zombie, and then they go back and forth, and then they're able to fix it and break the curse and do all this other stuff, and the creativity involved, and the choreography, and the music, and just so much more. And I don't think that helped either, where you compare it to... And in fact, I'm curious, what came out first? Sorry, I keep going back to my phone. Sinbad... 2003 release date. And I'm not trying to shit on the film. I don't mind the film. July. Wow, this came out in July, really? Critics praise the animation, action scenes, and voice performances, but criticize the storyline, Polaroid CGI, and the film's departure from its Arabic origin. Yeah, I know, because, yeah, Brad Pitt is very, very Arabic. Yeah, I get it, but, yeah, it is what it is. So that was July? When was Pirates? July. Wait a minute, so this was this really, like, the same weekend? Was this really the same weekend? I didn't even realize that, if that's the fucking case. Sorry, I gotta look into this now. Box office. Was this really the same fucking weekend? I gotta look up the weekend this came out. Let me look at the first day. Sorry, I know this is exciting, right? So, okay, a week. A week. So Sinbad had been out a week. Sinbad was out first for a week, and then this came in. It made more in his first day than Sinbad had made in a week. I mean, that's another thing. When this film came out, I actually went to the theaters like every other week. Well, I just say of this list, I saw Pirates of the Caribbean in theater, Terminator 3, Finding Nemo, Charles Angel's Full Throttle, Hulk, 28 Days Later, Italian Job, Bruce Almighty, Too Fast, Too Furious, Matrix Reloaded, Daddy Daycare, X-Men 2, Hollywood Homicide, Wrong Turn, Phone Booth, Malibu's Most Wanted, The Core. All those films I mentioned I saw in the theater when it came out. I never saw this film get advertised one fucking bit to any movie I went to, any TV. It was never advertised at all. But I would see Pirates of the Caribbean advertised, and then when you look at the two, wow, that actually looks a lot more exciting. And people are like, hey, kids, you want to go see the Sinbad movie? Well, actually, why don't we wait a week and see the other pirate movie? And the other pirate movie seems like something that the parents would get more into, and the kids would enjoy as well. And lack of advertising, and the fact that Pirates of the Caribbean came out a week after, no wonder it fucking died. And again, Not a bad film. This is not a bad film, but I think it's an unremarkable film. It's okay. It's alright. It didn't make me mad. It was fine to watch. I liked the animation for the most part. You know, the characters were harmless enough. I think Brad Pitt was a bit miscast. Michelle Pfeiffer was having fun. The ending is a bit anticlimactic in my opinion. And just didn't have as much thrills or memorable qualities to really make it stand out. In my opinion, it's just fine. That's kind of where it goes. I mean, hell, compared to Aladdin, I think Aladdin had a lot more escapism, fun, entertainment compared to Sinbad. I don't know why Aladdin popped. Maybe because Lucas requested a commentary of Aladdin that'll be coming soon, so maybe that's why it's in my head. So it is what it is. And take that for what it is. So with that said, thanks for watching, take care, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye for now.